Well, I promised you guys an Inter Miami MLS rebuild, and today that is the plan. Last week, I released an MLS top tips on how you can do an MLS save yourself, and today I'm going to be showing you guys all of that in action and hopefully learning it for myself as well. We're starting off in the 2023 season, so there's a few slight sort of salary increases from that video, but without further ado, let's get right into it. What's going on there, guys? Kempy here, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video from myself, and today is a very difficult video, a very fun video, and one that I hope you guys are going to massively enjoy. It's an MLS rebuild. Now, the MLS is a particularly difficult league to manage in. So many rules, so much registration rules, so much salary cap rules, different budgets. It's absolutely crazy, and I had done a video a couple of weeks back explaining all of these MLS rules for you guys, so you will be able to play in the MLS, and this should hopefully give you another little boost on that as well. I've certainly learned a lot more by playing it myself and sort of going through the different stages as well, so hopefully today we can help you do that as well. If you can, make sure to like the video and subscribe. It helps me out massively, and hopefully this video will help you out massively. Now, first of all, there is, just like I said, a few bits of a salary cap that does change. I think in the video it was 87,000. Now that seems to change every single season. I think it's still set as 87 right now, but when we tick over to the next season, I think it goes to 89, 91, and then at the end of season 3, which is where we finish off, it actually goes to 99,000. So salary cap in the US is going up in the MLS, which is quite good to see, because it gives you a little bit more freedom. And really that's what we're looking for. So I've not even loaded the tactic in this version of the save I've got, but I sort of simmed up a year forward. Was Messi at the club? I'm not too sure if Messi was at the club for this sim. He probably should have been. He probably was, wasn't he? Oh, no, he wasn't. So he hasn't played a game. Oh, yeah, he has 4 games, 15 games, 4 goals for him. So didn't play too much in the MLS in this particular season. Obviously, we had absolutely no control over it. He would have joined in fairly late anyway. So sadly, obviously, 5th place, runners up in the Lamar Hunt Cup, which is quite nice, to be honest, because we haven't really got too much to, you know, compete with. So we're going to go forward first of all to the first sort of draft we've got here at the MLS. I'll explain a little bit more about that, explain what we're doing, and hopefully we can crack right on into this rebuild. But if you guys can, make sure as well to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow on all these 4 wonderful things. We've got Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. We've got a second account in which to talk football on as well, and also the Sloppy Joe's podcast as well, as a fantastic podcast I edit for as well, so their link is also down in the description. And also Patreon wise, we've now got John, we've got Scott, and we've got Brandon. You 3 are absolute legends, and I cannot thank you guys enough. If you do want to join the Patreon link I want to pick up from the end of this rebuild, make sure you join down the Patreon down below. It's set up in the middle tier. I believe it's $5 I've set that up as, and you can get access to every rebuild file we have done so far. And a massive thank you as well, because it also helps support me make this dream a reality. Now we're going to join it at a point where we're at the MLS Super Draft. I'm going to show you the transfers in just a few minutes that we have made for this season, but we're jumping in the Super Draft. Then with our Super Draft rankings, we ended up coming in, I don't think we had too bad of a draft affair. First off, we come in wherever Inter Miami is, C+. So a difficult draft, to be honest. First bit of tip, they're not that helpful. You know, these 3 players, they're never really going to get anywhere. Don't pin too much on the Super Draft. There's a few sort of generation Adidas players which you do get sort of the opportunity to potentially trade up for, but even then, a lot of them were sort of 3-star potential, very similar to what we picked up. I mean, Terrence Campbell is a 3.5-star potential ability player. He's 6'4" centre half. He's probably never going to become anything, and he was one of the best players in the draft, and we picked him up in the first round. So that sort of shows you, do not put too much pressure on the draft for yourself. And the tactic we are going to be using for this rebuild is a sweeper keeper on defend in goal with no further instructions, a wing back on support on the right with cross aim centre, cross more often and stay wider, and the exact same on the left but no on the cross more often. 2 ball playing defenders, no further instructions, and an anchor man on defend with no further instructions, a volante next to him with no further instructions, and an inside forward and attack on the right hand side. And this road is built for Leo Messi. It's shoot more often, it's sit narrower, and it's tackle harder. Rodolfo Pizarro, another very talented footballer on the left-hand side of sit narrower and tackle harder. And Trek Batista up front, one of my favourite positions on this year's game on attack. And next to advanced forward and attack on the left with tackle harder. It's a positive mentality, and in possession, we play our defence, we low crosses, work the ball into the box, be more expressive, slightly higher tempo, and play fairly wide. And in transition, it's take short kicks, counter and counter press, and out of position is is a high press system, is pressing it as much as possible and preventing the short goalkeeper distribution. And obviously this tactic is available for you guys to download as well. I've tested it down everywhere in South America and here on the MLS, and the results were fantastic. So if you haven't seen that video, I'll make sure to link that up and just above. Then we finish off the transfers and I'll bring you guys back for the start of season number 1. First of all then, the 2 sales I made. Corentin Jean, a fantastic young French right winger, well, it seems like he's still young, has been moved on for £800,000 a week. Quite big on the salary impact, and obviously a right winger. We've got Lionel Messi. We do not need Corentin Jean, so he has departed the club for £800,000. Also, Victor Aloa wasn't going to get used at all and was just money on our wage cap, which we decided to get rid of. You've got to be really, really strict on the wage cap because there is a lot of players that you might want to get into the team. It's very, very difficult to get him in. So we've signed a big sign here of Stefan Medina. Now, he has been brought in for £7.5 million from Monterrey. Is a fantastic player, and I believe he is one of our designated player contracts. He is indeed. So with the designated players, they have to be some of the best players at your club. You want them to be the players that are sort of earning the most money, and they also get capped at £10,500 in season 1. Obviously, like I said, that goes up with the salary cap, so just keep an eye on that on your own individual saves. But you want to sign your designated players to be the best players at the club. And at 3.5-star ability, £7.5 million signed from Mexico, Monterrey, Stefan Medina is certainly that man for us. We needed a big impact in that centre-back role. And if I just show you guys the sort of reports we were looking at the back before, we had Jordi Candina as another sign we'll go through. He's 2.5-star ability. Dixon Arroyo's 3-star. They're not centre backs. You've got Ian Frey, 1.5-star. You've got Terence Campbell, the young draft player. We've got 1.5-star. You've got Leandro Gonzalez, who is still out on loan, 2.5 stars. So we needed a big centre back to come in, and Stefan Medina was that man. And alongside him, Jordi Candia as well, a free contract. This guy's from Bolivia. You find a lot of different players when you're playing in the MLS. A lot of players that you would never sign before. So it's quite fun. 6 foot tall, great natural fitness, decent pace. The holy trio in defence as well. 14 heading, marking and tackling is great to see. A decent ball playing defender. So he has also been brought in. And in terms of the transfer history as well, we also brought in Trilly. So this was a signing that I didn't think I'd be able to make. A 4.5-star potential right back, 19 years of age, signed for just £1.1 million from Deportivo La Coruña, obviously the second tier of Spanish football. He is on an under-22s initiative contract. Again, a different type of contract here in the MLS. You can sign, I think, 2 of these per team, and they're basically, again, the salary cap is different because I think it's 2,200. Again, in the registration video I've done, again, that will be linked in this video multiple times. Head over and watch that if you want a full breakdown of the rules. But that, again, you need to sign players. And he's on £5,000 a week, but the cap is only about 2.5 that actually impacts on. The free players we brought in on the free transfer as well. Emakasaka Okayumu is a 5-star player, actually come through the Inter Miami Academy. I'm not too sure how the sort of development centre really does work here in the MLS. He was basically at the club when I joined, so we brought him in as well. 5-star potential from Inter Miami CF2. So yeah, decent little signing from him as well, which is nice to see. And the squad is actually looking quite strong. There's a few players in here you recognise: Lionel Messi, Rodolfo Pizarro, Josef Martinez is up front. We've got Harvey Neville. We've got Leandro Campagna on the bench as well. Gimota and Gregor as the 2 DMs. Franco Negri, Medina, Trilly, Candia is a very strong defence here in the MLS. And the main thing that you guys are trying to basically achieve is to stay underneath this maximum squad salary cap, £87,000. We have completely maxed it out. And the other thing as well that I don't think I explained very much in the registration video was internationals. Now, you can only have a maximum of 8 internationals to start off with, I believe it is, and then you basically trade to get more. So I've traded right up to 11, which they set back down to 8 every single year. So we're going to have to, be a little bit more clever with signing players going forward. Obviously, we're going to sign players for this season, and hopefully we're going to have a very good season this season. But the next 2 years could be quite difficult because I believe our salary cap impact was around sort of £110,000. I spent all of our general allocation money to get it down to 87 grand, and then I also realised we needed more international picks, so I had to trade some GAM money and drafts for that as well. So we've got a good team for this season. We're probably predicted right at the very top of the season preview. We are predicted second, just behind LAFC. We are also in, I believe that is the CONCACAF Champions League. So that should be good fun. First time in the Champions League in America. So we'll see how that goes as well. But season number 1, let's fly forward 8 months into the future and see where we're going to finish in our first season in the MLS. Well, it's a clean sweep in season number 1. Well, almost anyway, because we ended up winning the whole league, which is fantastic. It's known as the Supporters' Shield. It gets broken down into a massive league once the league is finished. 19 wins, 7 draws, 8 losses, scored 72 goals, conceded 47, and a very, very good season. We scored the most goals. Conceded-wise, we weren't on this list. Again, it's a very attacking, quite fun tactic to use, so was expecting to concede lots of goals. So, again, fewest shots against, we're not on that. We probably conceded quite a lot, but we had the most shots for us, and possession-wise, we had 56% possession. But the main thing is that we did end up winning this one, and we also won the MLS Cup at the end as well, beating Seattle 5-4 in this game. It was an absolute barnstormer. 5-4 Sunday, 12th of November. MESSI, Jake LaCava, who was a 2-star striker, got a brace in this one. Leandro Campagna, Jean Motta, and for them, Raul Rudiaz got 4 goals. The Peruvian 33-year-old had a fantastic game, but we just about hit the post, and Messi lifted the MLS Cup in his first ever season, and we didn't end up winning the Lamar Hunt Trophy. We got 4th rounded by Charleston Battery, who were a USL team, so a little bit annoying that we didn't end up winning that one. Champions League wise, what did we do in this one then? So 2023, I believe we got to the semis, maybe not quarters. Oh, good lord. The first round. Oh, maybe we weren't in it. I don't think we were in it this season. We were just going to it next season, but that is season number 1. Oh, yeah, you can see we're against Portmore United this season, so that should be quite exciting. But yeah, season number 1 went very, very well. Won the MLS Cup as well. I'm going to bring you back at multiple different points during the off-season in America. Just go for the drafts, through the super drafts, through the signings I'm making, the registration changes. So I'll be back in just 2 seconds for season number 2's kickoff. But before we get to the new registration rules, I thought I'd just show you guys the quality of the Generation Adidas players. I sort of mentioned earlier on that the Generation Adidas players were, decent quality, but, nothing to write home about. So the super draft, you have these very special players. This guy is actually quite good. Stephen Flynn, 2.5-star ability player at 19 years of age. He's only got a 4-star potential, but maybe you can eke that out a little bit. Jorge Marin, again, 4-star, good flair, decent pace, but again, he's not outstanding, so don't, break your back to get some of these players. I mean, this guy's got 2-star ability, and then you've got Sam Dobson-Holt, again, 2.5-star potential ability, and Daniel, again, 3-star potential ability. So the Generation Adidas players, you can get some absolute bangers. You might click on the top guy and he's got 5-star potential and do what you can to trade up to get him. But for the majority of them, do not worry too much about, going mental into the Generation Adidas players. We have had a hell of a lot of offers for Lionel Messi. It seems like if you start into Miami Save, Lionel Messi will have 1,000 offers coming for him every single day. You can see he's wanted by 13 clubs. I'm not surprised. He's a very hot prospect. But I mean, obviously I'm going to keep Messi here for the long term. But to give you some sort of inkling of the sort of offers we are getting, they're not, again, fantastic. I mean, I've had a couple of like over $1 million in GAM money. And like here a 6th pick in the super draft. But that's the 2nd round. So again, it really does not matter. Don't listen to any offers for Messi. Please, if you're doing it into Miami Save, do not do it. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys sort of the level of some of these Generation Adidas players. Don't break your back to try and get them. And then as previously mentioned as well, the rules do change season by season. So this season, our salary cap is now £91,000 rather than I believe it was £87,000. So that's gone up. So it means that there's a sort of a stagger increase over the minimum salary for over 23's designated players is now 11,429 rather than the 10,750 I believe it was. The senior minimum's gone up slightly, and the reserve players have gone up ever so slightly. It gets a little bit wild and wacky with the numbers, but I imagine in dollars it probably makes much more sense. But yeah, when you're in pounds, that's that. You get more information come through. So our GAM money is now at 2.24, but a lot of that money does get spent straight away to buy down the cap of designated players and senior players. So at the end of it, you get forced to spend a lot of your GAM money, and yeah, you basically have to try and go back and rework your budgets again. So every season, you know, if you get under that salary cap and you, like we did in season 1, you spent massively on your GAM money to get under that, you're going to have to figure a way of getting more GAM money, whether that's selling one of your best players, but obviously you lose one of your best players, but it might get you underneath the salary cap. So yeah, it's fun to work out, but obviously as well with that GAM money selling players, the only way you get GAM money is from other MLS clubs. So if you sold Messi to 10 million to Barcelona, it wouldn't go towards your GAM money, that would go towards your actual transfer budget. So if you are going to try and get more general allocation money, that has to come from other MLS clubs. And again, because we've got 3 designated players, that has been renewed by the board as well, so they've already spent some of our GAM money on that. And then we've had the super draft already as well. We took part. Oh, this is the draft. Sorry, we haven't took part yet. But you can see this guy is the predicted guy we're to get. We obviously won the league last season, so we are the last team to pick in the draft, and he's a 2-star potential ability at best. So do not break your back over this super draft, unless I've had a particularly bad luck about it. It's not the biggest thing in the world. I don't think I've done any transfers just yet. I don't believe I have I? I haven't just yet. So I think this season we do try and sort of work our money a little bit better. And if I just go to the registration rules for now to show you where we're at, I'm £6,000 over on minimum salary wage. I have got another international slot to try and find as well, and I've also not got one of our best centre backs actually selected as well. So if I try and get these 2 selected, you can see how screwed we really are. And we went big in that first season, so it's going to be a bit of a juggling order to try and get this down. £19,000 to bring down. Can I buy down in salary cap? We've got 1.9 million. So you can see on some players you can bring it down more than others. But for here we spend £100,000 of our GAM money. We can bring that down £1,000. So we have still got quite a lot of money to spend on that. So I'm sure I can try and figure that out to get the best team possible for season 2 as well. But you know, it sort of pays the repercussions that you saw in season 1. We went massive on signings, we went massive on wages, and it does sort of bite you in the bum. So bit of advice, do not go crazy on your signings. I mean, I probably went a little bit too mad, so yeah, be careful. So with our super draft then, I actually managed to get an A+ rating from the people that rate these online, on the interwebs. I managed to get an A+ rating, and that's because I actually managed to pick up some fairly decent players. So first we've got Adam Tran. He's a 2-star potential ability player. Not the best player, but he's okay. And the guy that I'm actually quite impressed with is Ivan Castaneda. He's got 3.5-star potential, 2-star current ability. And I mean, I think this sort of says it all. This guy's probably never going to get anywhere near our club, at least in what we're going to be doing here in these 3 years. And we're given the best super draft rating out of anyone. So that sort of says it all. We've got Frankie Davis here as well as a young left winger. When you do go through the draft, you can ask your assistant who they want. I done a lot of scouting for the super draft, so I sort of knew the recommendations of everyone. But if you haven't done much scouting, you can ask your assistant who they think the best sort of first team option could be, the best top prospect could be. You can ask the best top prospect in different positions as well. So definitely worth asking your assistant for some advice in that bit as well. With one final signing, I am now all set for season number 2. What I did to try and find players that weren't international, because I was finding that to be quite a big thing that I didn't expect it to be, and was setting my search parameters to find homegrown in the USA and not based in the USA, because I had quite a lot of transfer budget sitting there. And you can see I've still got £2 million, but obviously if you try and sign someone from within the MLS, you can't offer a transfer budget. You have to offer general allocation money or drafts or players. So to try and find players that are homegrown in the MLS, or homegrown in the USA, sorry, but based not in the US, set up these search parameters, and you can find some fairly decent players here. I mean, you've got Haji Wright, Ricardo Pepi, obviously a fantastic player if you can bring in. We tried to bring him in a few times actually, but we didn't have the designated player slot because he wanted quite a lot of money. But £3.5 million, you can go and pick yourself up a Ricardo Pepi. The squad is all finished transfers wise. Let me just check if there's much else we did. We brought in Leonard Maloney, again very similar, signed him from Germany. He started in Germany actually his whole career, so it's his first time going back to the MLS, but a US nation player, 24 years of age, 3-star ability, 3-star potential, very consistent, and a very, very good signing for an MLS club. Very happy to get him in for just 950k. And obviously Andrea Novakovic as well as a backup striker, a good signing. He's made 3 caps for the US already, very consistent, very average player, but 6'4", brings a little bit of height goalkeeper side, and wasn't on too much money either, just £4,500, which is quite nice, which means now in our registration we are at the 91,000 cap. We can't register these two young players because we've got too many reserve players registered, so again, be careful of that, but they're never going to get in the first team anyway, so it's not a massive deal. We've got our 3 designated players. I've actually got 1 less international player than we could have had, so we've done quite well in sort of sending out a few of the non-US players and bringing in some US players. Messi is wanting to leave at the end of season number 3. I imagine it'll be the same in your save as well. Obviously, he is still a fantastic player. He's still 5-star potential ability. We are now February 24, and he's absolutely tearing up this league, and I imagine he's going to continue to tear it up as well. In the MLS, we are predicted this season to finish in... where are we? 2nd place behind LAFC again. So we've definitely built a very strong side here. We've done well with the signs we've made. We've managed to keep hold of most of our players as well. So Joseph Martinez, Campagna, Pizarro, Messi are very key to this. Jean Mossad and Gregor have been decent. Flores is a player. I think, when did we bring him in? We brought him in this season as well. I didn't mention him earlier as a free contract. He's been in Bolivia for Always Ready. I've bet on them a few times. But yeah, we've brought him in on a free contract. Jorge Enrique Flores, decent left back, good consistency, likes a big match as well. 30 years of age. Again, didn't want too much money. So a good player to bring in. Maloney, Medina, Trilly and Marsman. So you can see we've massively strengthened the defence now. And we've got a lot of players here that can play for us. So hopefully we can be good for season number 2. Let's see if we can win the... CONCACAF Champions League as well. That is going to be the goal for this 3 years. Hopefully we can win that. We've got this season and we should see next season's as well. So let's see if we can win that CONCACAF. See if we can win the MLS back-to-back years as well. That would be a fantastic achievement. If you guys can get in the comments below as well and let me know if you are starting an MLS save and what MLS save you are starting. Are you going to be joining me with Inter Miami, playing with Messi in the MLS? That could be good fun. Or are you going to try and, bring someone else in at a big club, try and get... my go-to is Karim Benzema, but he's off to Saudi Arabia, so maybe like a Luis Suarez at LAFC. You're going to try and get in a big name player at your own club. Let me know down in the comments below what your plans are for an MLS save. Now you can see season 2 has gone very well again. We have won the league, level on points over with DC United, which I did not expect, because DC United, when you start up this sort of media prediction, the save, they are one of the worst teams in the league, but they have had a massive rise, and Christian Benteke is the man carrying them to that pot with Jaap Stam in charge as well, which is pretty awesome. In terms of the DC United managers, obviously they've had Wayne Rooney, they've now had Jaap Stam. Wayne Rooney was sacked after 60 days. Oh, wazza, it's not gone well for you. And he's not picked up a job since. So... poor Wayne Rooney, but DC United have been doing fantastic, to be fair, in this version of the world. 66 points, so the same as us. We both won 20 games, we both drew 6 games, meaning we both lost, I believe it's 8 games as well. We won the Campeones Cup, which is a weird little cup, which I've got no idea what it is, but we beat Chivas in that, which is quite nice. America won it last year. We got knocked out in the 4th round of the Lamar Hunt Cup by Orlando, which is quite annoying. And we won the MLS Cup overall as well in extra time against Minnesota. A dominant performance from us in this game. 22 shots, 4 on target to their 5-1. A 2.6 XG. So very happy to be winning that one. Again, most goals scored. We're nowhere near on the goals conceded. We're actually an 8th, which I'm quite impressive with. Possession-wise, 57%. Most shots for. And again, nowhere near on the fewest shots against. We are going for it. And the data hub shows that as well. 1.92 conceded per game, conceded 1.05 as well. But yeah, doing very well this season. Messi again, very good, 17 and 18. Leandro Campagna doing bits as well, 21 goals and 5 assists for him. He was quite difficult to keep hold of, I'm not going to lie. I thought he was going to end up leaving us because he's been around the block. He's been at Wolves. We've now obviously brought him in here. And yeah, very good player. On a fair bit of money, I think. Oh, actually, no, not on that much money, actually. Only £8,500. So we've managed to sort of just keep him sweet and keep him ticking along. Josef Martinez, 12 goals, 8 assists. He's slowly starting to drop off at that 31 years of age, but a very, very good player. Rodolfo Pizarro doing double figures in both as well. The double-double, as the Americans like to call it, with 30 years of age now for him. But very, very good season. Again, a very, very strong squad. Registration-wise, again, there'll be some more updates for season number 3. Probably some players looking to leave the club as well. I mean, Messi, like I said earlier, is consistently wanting to leave the club, but he's going at the end of next year. But he's still very good. He's won by Juve, Bologna and Porto, so sort of shows how good he is. Obviously, he's playing in this right-wing role for us. So, yeah, very, very good from Leo Messi. Very fun. Season number 2. We didn't end up winning the CONCACAF Champions League, I believe. We got knocked out in the semi-finals when I looked. We did. We got knocked out on penalties by Tulka, who ended up winning the whole thing and beating Cruz Azul in the final. So, very frustrating. Very close to winning the CONCACAF Champions League as well. But yeah, here we are then, season 3. Let's get right into some more rule changes, maybe some more draft bits as well. So give me 2 seconds and we'll be right back. Right, I've not shown you guys any draft bits for this season so far. No re-entry drafts, no waiver drafts. I've not shown you any of that in any of it because from my experience, again, I've only got this sort of 3 seasons worth of experience in the MLS. It's a little bit pointless when you're quite a good club. Obviously, we are at the very top of the MLS pretty much. If you're predicted to come sort of in this bottom half, I would say make use of it. If you're in this top half, there's much, much better players out there, and there is a reason they're being released. So, I mean, this season, like Chicharito was up on that release list, but he wanted stupid amounts of money. And as fun as it would have been for me as a United fan and a massive Chicharito fan to bring him in, it just didn't make sense. Again, though, we've had a salary cap increase now to £99,000. Again, all these bits going up ever so slightly as well. We've given more GAM money. We've forced to spend it all again, of course, which is great fun. But again, if you check out the Biden salary cap, we've got 2.7 million spent in GAM money. So it gives us quite strong pulling power in the market. If we're looking to sort of bring in players for, like, say, Messi, we get like £1.5 million sometimes. So we can probably go out and get one of the best players in the MLS. So that is probably going to be our plan. We've had offers here for Stefan Medina. Again, quite a poor offer. First round pick for 2 first round picks for him isn't that bad, but not something we were interested in. And the same for Trilly as well. Definitely not something we're interested in getting either of them. Trilly is quite good actually, 3.5 star current ability now, 5 star potential. So you can sign them under 22 initiative players and they can turn out to be very, very good. So happy to get him in. Just a few rule changes, not too much going along. I'll probably bring you guys back for the start of the sim because this is going to be our last season, so there's not too much point in showing you the super draft, but we don't want to get anyone too good out of that anyway. Something I didn't actually know I had to click on to show you as well with like a select separate draft like trade thing that you have to do to show you guys what sort of trades we're making as well. So you might be wondering where DeAndre Yedlin went. We sold him for 1.1 million in GAM money to LA Galaxy in the first season. Robbie Robinson as well. We've traded for some international slots you can see here. So again, they're going for about 60k and then his one 45k and a 3rd round pick in the 2025 draft. And then if we go on to the next season, which is the season that just happened, I believe, Franco Negri left for an international slot and 45k. And then we also got rid of our, what's it called? First round super draft pick for this guy's player rights. I mean, I was testing things out and I have no idea what I did, to be honest. And this one for Keaton Parks. Now, a massive, massive player in the MLS. He's what, 4.5 star, 3.5 star potential ability, 27 years old, one of the US's best players, and someone I always seem to sign, or see sign when we do these things. We traded 2 international slots for him, the 1st round draft pick and 2.2 in GAM money. So I went big on him, but he's got some good value. He's a fantastic midfielder and massively improves this team as well. A little more energy in midfield. I mean, Gregor was getting on a little bit age-wise, so we got rid of him. But Keaton Parks has come in, not Gregor, the other guys. Jean Motta was getting on a little bit as well. So we decided to make them a few trades and in terms of transfers as well for this season. I've also brought in Axel Kie in one of the drafts. This guy is 15 years of age and has played in the MLS in real life for Real Salt Lake, which is absolutely mental. So I decided to bring him in because I wanted to bring him up to you guys pretty much. That was it. He's not got the fantastic potential in this, but the fact this guy's 15 and has made the debut in the MLS is absolutely massive for the MLS football. So cool to see him getting his bits in. In terms of registration, we are at the £99,000 cap again. We've only got 6 internationals now, and we are still the best squad in the league, which is very cool because it means we've actually managed to develop sort of a homegrown team as well, which is quite good fun. We've got obviously some absolute superstars in with Messi, Josef Martinez, etc. But we've managed to build a homegrown team to the point where we're massive favourites for this season, which is great. I'm very, very happy with that. And this is sort of the save that we wanted. We've massively rebuilt the team. We've rebuilt them in a way as well, which actually works. So I've sort of shown you guys how you can work the MLS and actually build it to a very fun and realistic manner as well. So I'm quite happy with how this has gone. Season 3 then, we are still in the CONCACAF Champions League. We are in the second round against Olympia from Honduras. So let's go forward, see if we can win that. Again, that's our last chance to win that one. We've got the MLS and the Supporters Shield and the Lamar Hunt Cup. Can we win the treble this season? Let me get right into it and I'll show you guys what we won for season number 3. Well, for season 3 then, we had our best ever points finish, 71 points at the very top of the league as well. 21 wins, 8 draws, 5 losses, scored 73 goals, conceded just 36. So very happy with how this season went. Pushed all the way by NYCFC, but we were the stronger side in the end. We ended up winning the MLS Cup as well, beating Sporting KC 3-1 in the final. Very happy with that one. Messi penalty, Rodolfo Pizarro scored, and Josef Martinez. Valentin Castellanos is an absolute player on this game as well. He's at NYCFC to start off with. If you can get your hands on him, he is unbelievable. He's got 25 goals this season for Sporting KC. A fantastic player in the MLS. Jordan Ebobose as well. Again, fantastic. Real good in real life as well. Fantastic at Portland and now at San Jose. So there is certainly some very, very good players here. We've won the league 3 years in a row, so I'm very happy with that. We come runners-up in the Campeones Cup this time, losing 3-2 to America. We also got knocked out in the 4th round of the Lamar Hunt, so I don't think we won that at all, this time by Nashville. And the Champions League, we didn't win, but Columbus did. Where did we get to this time? Was it? I don't think we got too far this one. We knocked out in the quarterfinals on away goals by Leon, who I believe then lost in the semi-finals to Columbus. So very frustrating because we're obviously a better side than Columbus. Away goals rule has been abolished across Europe, but sadly not here. The squad, again, very, very strong. Looking at selection info, not unique IDs. Messi, I think, had his best season yet. 25 goals, 14 assists. He is now retiring as well. So the legend of Leo Messi has finished his career here at Inter Miami, and now he's going to go on to make his own franchise like in real life. So that could be quite a fun thing for you guys if you do want to pick up this save. It's down in the Patreon link below. It's the middle tier, £5 tier. Massive thank you to the legends that have signed up to that. We've had a new one as well in Scott. We've got Brandon, we've got John, Stephen as well, who has signed up for that £5 tier. So he has now got access to the rebuild files. Massive thank you to you four, absolute legends. I cannot thank you guys enough. You were helping me make this dream come true. And if you guys want to play in this rebuild, pick up from this point. Maybe you want to start your own team with Leo Messi. I mean, you can surely do that in some way. I'm not the best in terms of editing, but I imagine there's a way to do that. But Leo Messi has retired. We have completed the Inter Miami rebuild, and I'm absolutely buzzing with it. Thank you guys for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll speak to you next time.